Okay, so hi guys. So today we're going to be going over another really important topic in Python, which is lists. So right now we know all about variables and functions and different data types and all that cool stuff. Well, if we want to store more than one thing, we have no way to do that. So we can create a variable called num and we can store a value in there, but we can't store more than one value. That just doesn't work. So what we can do is we can store a list of values. And how we could create this is we can set nums, and then let's say we want to store 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll store 5. Cool. Okay, so there's a list of numbers. And each of these numbers, I'll just go like that, has an index. So the first element, so basically how counting works in Python and a bunch of other programming languages is the first element is always 0. So the index of the first element would be 0. So 1, the index of 1 would be 0. The index of 2 would be 1. The index of 3 would be 2. 4 would be 3, and then 5 would be 4. And how these indexes come into use is, let's say we just wanted to print the first element in nums. So what we could do is we can say print nums, and then we can say the index of 1 because 1 is our first element. And since our index of 1 is 0, we say print nums, and then in these little brackets, we say 0. Okay, cool. It prints 1 because the index of this first number is 1. So let's say now we wanted to print the index of our second number. Okay, we can say print nums, and then we can put 1, and that should print 2. Okay, because the index of that number is 2. Now, let's say we want to print the last number in our list. So we can say print nums minus 1, which is what that's doing, is it's taking the last index of our list. Okay, and so that prints 5. Now let's say we want to print, let's say we want to print the third, the fourth, and the fifth item in our list. So we can say print nums, and we can say 2, and then we can put a colon to 5. And it prints 3, 4, 5. So how this works is it starts at 2, but 2 is not included. And it goes to 5. 5 is included. So what you can do is, how you can tell that this includes 3 numbers, is you can subtract 5 minus 2 and get 3. So that's how that works. And then also, if we want to print the numbers, let's say, all after 2, we can have 2 and then colon. Or if we want to print up to 2, we can do, oh, my bad. We can do the exact opposite. So, okay, cool. It prints 1, 2. Now let's say we want to change, instead of this being 1, we want it to be 6. Well, no problem. We can do that by saying num0, since the index of that is 0, and then we can assign this to 6. And that's not going to say anything when we run it, so let's print nums again, and when we print nums again, it should have the first, okay, it has the first number as 6. Okay, cool. So now that I've done one with numbers, we can also do with these with strings too. So let's say we have a shopping list. We'll call this sh list for now. Okay. And let's say we're going to get an apple, an orange. If I could spell, that would be nice. And let's say we're also going to get a pear. Okay. So we can do all the same stuff we did for our nums list with this. So let's say we want to print the first element in here. So we can say print the name of our list, and then 0, and it prints apples. Cool. So what we can also do is we'll say combo, and for that we can have numbers, we can have strings. Heck, I could probably put some floats in here if I wanted to. Okay, and then we can also print combo and then the first element in there. Cool, 2. Okay, so now that we've done lists, there's another way. So now that we've done lists, we can also do these things that are called tuples. Now tuples are pretty similar to lists, only they're immutable. Which basically what that means is tuples, you can't like switch or you can't reassign elements. So if my cursor would work. Okay, so basically how you can declare a tuple is, I'll just start by calling that short for tuple, and these use parentheses instead of the brackets, so we can say 1, 2, 3, 4. Sure, great, awesome. And like lists, again with tuples, we can say we can still print out the first element. Okay, sorry, my laptop's being really slow for some reason. And then if we run this, again, okay, it'll print out 1 because that's the first element. Now, what basically makes tuples different from list is up here, how we reassigned these values, you can't do that. So let's say we changed our mind and we want the first element of our list to be 6. Okay, so let's just run this, and again, it's already highlighted. Okay, so tuple object does not support item assignment. So again, what that means is, like this, what we did with list, you can't change or reassign values. And you're probably thinking, okay, why the heck would I ever want to use a tuple? So you might want to use tuples for colors, like for RGB values, or if you're making a game and you want to use like mouse click or mouse values, then you can store stuff like that in a tuple. Basically, you want to store elements that you are not going to be changing. Okay, so just to recap, we went through lists and we went through tuples.